Hi, I'm Ben Strong from Tiny House Project, and this is my latest project. I call this Perpetual Star.
What's up, guys? Deek, RelaxShacks.com. This is one of many videos we shot while in Australia, in Tasmania, hanging out with the Tiny Houses Australia crew. Check them out. A couple of things real quick. We have an upcoming workshop in California, fully hands-on. Details and description below. Free shed plans down below. And, well, that's everything. So check this.
So Ben, for starters, what was the impetus or the drive behind creating this as a project, but also the unusual shape you've decided to go with?
Yeah, the shape, I wanted something not square. I've done 5 or 6 tiny houses before and they've always been square or rectangle, very angular. I wanted something that had more of a curve to it, something a bit more organic. This window that I bought, so I actually kind of bend it around this window at the front. It's a beautiful big open glass window. I wanted someone that could bend the corrugated iron up in a really unusual and high ceiling to give me lots of open air and a really open, airy kind of aesthetic feel to it. So yeah.
Now the Raptor working here with this almost Gothic arch, did you steam bend them? Did you assemble them with curved cuts out of ply? I mean, there's a couple of techniques. Which did you go with?
Neither.
Neither?
Yeah, what I did is I battened out the inside and then I followed it up with 3mm ply. So I could bend it and just manipulate the shape. You can't really see it because I'll put these cover strips over that kind of give a feature almost like a ribs of a boat.
Yeah.
I wanted that kind of feel to it, but I wanted it's I suppose got a Gothic kind of arch to it. So I just followed the curve of the outside. So the outside's been cold rolled, and I just followed the shape with the ply, and I just screwed and glued and nail gunned the ply to the battens.
Oh, really?
Followed it up, yeah. And
it's like actually, construction in reverse. I'd never heard of an approach like that, but it certainly seems to work.
Yeah, and it's a two-man job. So I had one guy kind of holding it and following that line and pushing it and bowing it out, and I'm holding it with my other hand and I'm like nail gunning it to the battens. So it kind of, yeah, you kind of can manipulate that 3mm ply. It's pretty flexible. So that's how we got that really nice organic curve to follow.
Now give us a few quick specs if you don't mind in terms of the size, the height, you know, if you don't mind the budget, because people always ask, you know, how much did it cost to build?
How much did it cost?
I feel it's a rude question, but I understand.
Yeah, Australian 20,000 in materials. Labour, I think you can kind of throw that out the window.
Yeah.
The labour. It took me 8 months to build this part-time. I did it in conjunction with another build and I've had some holidays. Height-wise, it's 4 meters from the ground to the top. It's 2.3 wide and it's 5 meters long, exactly. You've got 3.5 inside and there's a 0.5 meter deck at the front and a meter deck at the back.
Where you have your facilities, so to speak.
Yeah, so the deck at the back is a deck with gaps between the decks, so when you're having your outdoor shower, your water just runs through, so you don't have to worry about.
And I gotta add, there's some beautiful classy touches in here. You have like the almost the tin ceiling over there as the backdrop to your shower. You know, even little touches like over there, you have framed an old chutes and ladders or board game, it looks like, as art.
Oh yeah, you roll the dice and you play your snakes and ladders, and you can hook
snakes
it up.
and ladders. Excuse me. Yeah, not chutes. Yeah.
So you can have that as a kind of some quirky artwork, and then
usable art.
Yeah, pull it down and play with it.
Yeah. Now your background, I heard someone saying you were a fashion designer, which kind of doesn't surprise me because there's some very tasteful touches in here that you rolled in this place and you turned some heads rather quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I had 25 years making clothing, designing and manufacturing. Yeah, women's and men's clothing.
Okay.
So yeah, and then interior design now. So I work in window furnishings, so interiors. So I suppose it's still all kind of art. This is mobile.
Clothing of a larger, different sort, really.
Yeah.
Permanent clothing.
Yeah.
I want to ask, this is jumping around a little bit, but the front window, as you came in, I'm like, wow, that's on the travel end of the trailer. I would be terrified that while driving in the highway, a stone's going to kick up, shatter it, or it would catch too much wind, because
Sure.
behind you is a huge single pane. Tell us a little bit about that and your decision to set it up as so.
This front window I got from a joinery. It was excess to a build, so I got it on eBay at a very discounted rate. It was actually a second one, so I had another tiny house that I built, and I used exactly the same frame. I liked it so much because it gave you that inside outside, you know, you can just look right through. It's like you're not really in a box. My father's a retired structural engineer, civil engineer, so I'm like, oh, this is the last thing I think I would do, like logically. And, oh no, this is a great brace. So I tried one before this, and it travelled well. I was kind of waiting for it to crack within the first
Yeah, I'd be terrified.
few kilometres. And
But here you are.
yeah, I've driven 3 hours to get here in this, and I would probably have put a big brace board over to protect it from stones, but I was so under the pump, I thought I'd just take the punt, and I did, and it seems to have travelled fine. It hasn't busted. I put louvers on the side here.
Yeah, the old jalousie windows, yeah.
Yeah. So you get lots of nice airflow because you've got no, you don't have anything down the side. I was going to put windows down the side, but it would have been hard with a corrugated iron trying to put something on there. So I thought I'll have airflow running through. But yeah, it seems to travel pretty well, and the glass actually acts like a brace. Yeah, I've had a few people looking at it going, whoa.
Oh, it's certainly daring, yeah.
Yeah,
I was looking
daring.
at it at first, that's why I had to ask you. I'm like, what's he thinking? It's beautiful, but I'd be horrified or biting my nails the whole drive over here.
Yeah, I've done it. This is my second with the same kind of big glass window at the front. It seems to be fine.
I looked at this place too, my first thoughts were, I'm treehouse obsessed. I'm like, this would be amazing up in a tree as like a rental somewhere. The shape of it, the look, it's like a giant birdhouse / beehive. You know, it's got that micro cathedral look to it. What are your design inspirations? You know, not so much in clothing, but architecturally. You know, where are you drawing from?
I like the feeling of having something more aesthetic and having space and something that's airy and lends itself more to integrating with nature. I did see there's a guy that I mentioned before, Jay
Nelson
in America, and he did a similar shape. I actually originally had this designed in a timber roof with cedar, not weatherboards, shingles. I was going to do this in shingles. I thought that would be like the whole thing in shingles. I thought that would be amazing. It'd look incredible. But then I thought, imagine shingles going down the road with 100-kilometre wind on it.
All those little edges to catch the wind. Yeah, I think it's more striking with this. Like it's like a modern micro Quonset hut meets a, like I said, a micro cathedral. I think it's a really cool, striking shape.
So yeah, I got that concept of something curved. I was actually kind of sick of doing square boxes. I just wanted to do something different. It's very easy to do something square. I thought I'd like to do something that was unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that curve. There's something about curves that you don't see these days in cars and architecture. Everything's so straight line and so clean, and even though this is quite linear, the curve gives it, I don't know, more of an organic kind of feel to me.
Your lighting here is very cool too, from the line lighting up above you to this pendant lamp here. Where do you find something like that?
a friend of mine bought that back from Copenhagen in Denmark about 5 or 6 years ago, and I've had it sitting in the cupboard, and it was too big for anywhere I've ever lived. So it fitted perfectly here. And
it's part like orb, part lion's mane, part lotus.
well, the original idea was to have something like this hanging up where I was going to suspend a whole lot of sticks and twigs and branches and have something really kind of crazy and organic, and taken a big area because I've got a lot of space here with some fairy lights. And then I saw I had this, and I thought, wow, that really works there. You know, it's over the bed, so I can bring it down. No one's going to hit their head. So, and then I thought I've always wanted to do something a bit crazy like this. So I thought I'll do that there, and I had that bit of nature.
Yeah, what
That's
I love.
not very nature, but this is more. I'm into that whole more organic look.
Well, it's the dichotomy of the two. A splash of the industrial modern here and there with nature.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful structure here. If people want to find out more about what you do, where can they head? Is there a website, Facebook page, any of that?
I don't have a website or Facebook. I've just got Instagram at this
Okay.
stage. So I'm called Tiny House Project.
All right.
Yeah.
What are you working on currently? What's the next tiny house project?
I'm doing a coffee cart, which is like a hybrid between a tiny house and a coffee cart, where I'm going to put a coffee machine in. I've just got lots of stained glass windows, lots of LED light, lots of Canadian cedar weatherboards and shingles, and some tin. Bit quirky, a bit old worldy, whimsical, with a nice big, lots of chunky Canadian Oregon painted red with that old rustic wood, with a nice big servery window down one side. It's about 2.5 meters window with some old windows that I'm turning to the side. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, which will be, I think it'll be quite nice.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. I like even just watching you here. You're talking about your future projects. You have this like childlike gleam and smile going on. I can tell you love what you do, which I hugely respect and feel the same way about what I do. So thank you, Ben, so much once again for your time. This is amazing.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks.
Appreciate it, man, and best of luck with all.
Thank you.